October 23rd, 2021. First home game ever for the Seattle Kraken. Their opponent from right up the coast, the Vancouver Canucks. On the ice, Seattle was getting its first look at its new team. But meanwhile, at Vancouver's bench, another story was playing out.
There were so many moments when everything could have changed.
It took a lot of things to go right for this to happen.
For 20 years, Brian Hamilton, known to all as Red, has been the Canucks' assistant equipment manager. What are the things about your job that give you gratification?
The relationships, having great friends, and the gratification is, being a part of a team and having amazing people to work with every day.
She's like, what, we're going home already?
Yeah, Rosie's like, wait a second.
In addition to his duties with the Canucks, Brian is also a father to Ashley and a partner to Jessica.
Like in the last 6 years.
When you think about your dad, what are the first things that come to mind?
His jokes, honestly, some of them are crazy. Previously, I just sprained my ankle. He's like, oh no, we need to call the tow truck. Anyone who meets Brian will immediately tell the next person that Brian is the most kind and authentic person that they've probably ever met.
Now 47, Brian's worked more than 1,000 games behind Vancouver's bench, which is exactly what he was doing on that Saturday night in Seattle.
We were excited. We were the very first game in Seattle, Kraken history. You want to see this. You're thrilled to be a part of it.
There were more than 17,000 fans in attendance. Among them, 22-year-old Nadia Popovici, whose family has season tickets. They were sitting right behind the Canucks bench.
I knew that I wanted to go all out. I wanted to be a cheerleader for the Kraken. The squid hat that I had was in my mom's room for a long time. And I said, I don't care if I look ridiculous. I want to wear this hat so badly.
It's a close game and the crowd's into it. It's fun.
Here's Larson, able to swing it across. Dunn lets it fly and scores! Vince Dunn gets the first ever goal at home for the Seattle Kraken.
First period ends and I go about my business at the end of the bench. Then I go in the dressing room and then come out for the second.
He's handing something to another staff member and he's reaching his arm out as far as he can. And I immediately caught sight of this dark spot. And then the moment's gone. And it was really that quick, like a couple of seconds. I had to reflect for a lot of the period. I was stressed out because I was thinking, did I actually see that? Maybe I'm overreacting.
Second period ends. And as I'm putting in the defense iPad, there's this lady with a knitted Kraken hat with a cell phone against the glass that says the mole on your neck is cancerous. You should go see the doctor.
He looks up, he sees my message, and he goes and walks away. I felt ridiculous, and I thought, I shouldn't have done that.
So I just keep walking, and I go to the dressing room, and I don't really think about it. So I flew home that night. We had Sunday off, and at some point Sunday morning, I asked Jess about looking at the back of my neck.
He said, can you have a look at my neck? Is there anything there? Like, what do we make of this? And so I looked and I'm like, yeah, there's definitely a new mark there.
It's weird. It's a weird shape. It's discolored. And I say, okay. She's like, I want you to ask Dr. Bovard about it. I said, I will on Tuesday.
He just said, hey, Doc, by the way, just take a look at this. I got a funny story to tell you. We were in Seattle the other night, and this woman sort of banged on the glass and kept pointing to this thing on my neck and said, you got to get it looked at. I have an approach where either it's, I don't like the looks of it, and it comes off, or it's totally fine. And that was one of the ones I said to him, yeah, I don't like the looks of that.
2 days later, the Canucks would be playing host to the Philadelphia Flyers.
I said, let's just do it before the game. There's a little window where there's nothing for him to do. Literally takes just a few minutes to remove it and then wait for the results.
I'm on the medical table getting my neck frozen, and all I feel is little tickles of the stitches being done up, and it's gone. I go out, stand on the bench, work the game with a Band-Aid on my neck.
The mole was gone, but now the waiting to determine if it was malignant, which could take weeks, had just begun.
And you're thinking about?
Ashley, for starters. You know, I was 26 when I lost my dad. She's 13. We have so much to do together. I have this amazing life with Jessica, her family, and then my mom. Like, how do I call mom?
For Brian's family, cancer has been a scourge. It's killed his father, 2 siblings, and a 5-year-old niece.
I actually went and saw my mom and sister in person and told them, because I wanted to reassure them that what had happened and that we still have high hope that it's new. So we just got to cross our fingers every day till I get the call that it's new and it hasn't done any damage.
It was about 3 weeks after Dr. Bovard removed the mole that Brian was driving to work on a game day.
My phone rings and I look down and I see Dr. Jim Bovard and I just freeze and I answer the phone and I'm like, hi, Doc. And he said, Red, I'm gonna diagnose you with cancer and I'm gonna cure you with cancer in the same phone call.
It was a melanoma, but it's at the earliest stages. We've got it all.
What does it feel like to have that weight of the world lifted off your shoulders in that moment?
Everything in my life was dependent on this phone call. I can be a dad. I can be a partner to Jess. I can do the things that I want to do. Nothing is controlling my life right now.
Dr. Bovard had one more thing to say.
He goes, you have an angel in your life. You need to find this woman. Because if you left this in you for 5 years, you and I aren't having this phone call. Finally, we decided, okay, we'll write a letter looking for this fan. Let's just lay it all out there. Because if anything, 1, this letter will find her, and 2, it'll bring awareness to a situation that maybe people will go get checked.
On the morning of New Year's Day 2022, Brian's letter was posted on Vancouver's Twitter feed, with the Canucks scheduled to play the Kraken that night in Seattle.
Within the first half an hour, just following the number of retweets and reshares and how quickly it spread, not only throughout Canada, but the US and then the world.
With us landing in Seattle and getting ready to practice, unloading the truck and everything, I'd put my phone away because it was just a constant vibrate in my pocket. And then I came around the corner and like, we got her. She's going to be here tonight.
It turned out she was no ordinary fan. Nadia Popovici is an aspiring doctor who's been trained to detect such threats.
Where did you get your experience working in oncology?
I volunteered in hospitals basically since high school because I knew that I wanted to be a doctor and I wanted to get a feel of different specialties. And so I would go home from volunteering and I would do my own studying.
On the morning of New Year's Day, as Brian's letter was ricocheting across the internet, Nadia was sleeping. She'd spent New Year's Eve answering phones for a crisis hotline. Then she was awakened by a call from her mother.
I answer the phone and I don't even say anything before she starts screaming. She says, go on Twitter, go on Facebook, you need to check the Kraken's Twitter. So I open it up and I'm reading and I just say, they're not talking about me. Within the first hour of waking up, the Kraken's PR manager reached out to me and said, you're going to the game tonight, right? Brian's gonna be there. Is there any chance we could get the two of you together? And I said, is there a chance? I hope there's a chance.
We're excited.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. A little nervous.
Hello.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. Are you okay with shaking hands?
Yes.
Or hugging?
Thank
Thank you so much
thank
for reaching
you.
out.
Well,
oh my
thank you.
gosh, I was so shocked.
What was it like?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nothing like I ever expected. She was so inviting. She was so excited to meet me. She was so thankful that her efforts were taken seriously, not fluffed off.
But I wrote out exactly what I said, and then I made cancerous red.
And she is here tonight, back in those same lucky seats she sat in on opening night.
I stood up and, the players were tapping their sticks and I got a standing ovation from the crowd and Brian was standing right there through the glass yet again and it was full circle.
When you met Red, he said, I wouldn't be alive in 5 years if it wasn't for you.
When he said that, the weight of everything really kind of came down, and I realized that this wasn't just a message on my phone, this was someone's life and someone's family.
What do you think would have happened without Nadia?
The doctor told me that Nadia saved my life. And at first I had a hard time wrapping my head around such a bold statement. It took a lot of things to go right for this to happen. She saved my life though. It was a slow fire and she pulled me out before I got burned.